at least an hour later, because it was the changing of the guard ceremony, and that, we are told, takes precedence over pretty much everything. They couldn't interrupt the changing of the guard ceremony to bring out the easel. They had to wait for that to finish, and then the easel was brought out, then the proclamation at about 12:30. A big cheer went up at that stage, and people have been coming across Green Park and down the Mall ever since. A lot of the people coming, it has to be said, are foreign tourists who don't necessarily know exactly what's going on or that there's anything to see, but once they get here they join the queue and join up with everybody else. We've also had people waving Union Jacks, devout monarchists who came for the weekend on the off chance they would get lucky, and of course they did. Now that easel with that proclamation will stay in place for about 24 hours or so, and then it's taken to the Privy Council Records Office to become part of the official record of the birth of the new princess. So people have a little time yet to join this queue, see what's going on, and hopefully if it stays dry, we won't even mind if it's not too sunny. But certainly people are still coming, and they will tomorrow too, I'd imagine, Anita.
Richard, thank you very much. Richard Lister there at Buckingham Palace. Well, let's just take a look again at those images from a few moments ago when Prince William arrived back in the Lindo Wing, having gone briefly to Kensington Palace to collect his young son, Prince George. He helped him out of the Range Rover, and I think it looked as though Prince George was going to walk to the doors of the hospital, but then he hesitated. Prince William scooped him up in his arms and got him to wave to the assembled media here. A huge cry and scream went up from the fans, the royal fans at the end of the street. And he brought his young son, a pair of them in almost matching blue jumpers, into the Lindo Wing so that the young prince could meet his new sister. So quite unusual, really, to see the young prince in front of the cameras. So certainly it's not often we see him before the media in such a way. But on this occasion, this special occasion, of course, he was before the cameras as he went to see his new sister, to meet his sister for the first time. Now, I mentioned the huge scream that went up from the crowd of fans at the end of the street when Prince William and Prince George arrived. I spoke a little earlier to one of those fans. She told me that there was no way that she was going to be leaving until she gets that first glimpse of the new baby, the little girl. And her name is Margaret Tyler. She's from Wembley, and she told me very proudly that she's known as the loyalist royalist. Here she is.
Well, I do a big collection on the royal family. I've got about 10,000 items in my house. There's 4 rooms full, and somewhere or other that name is stuck. I don't know.
And I understand a very special connection that you have personally with this hospital because your son was born here.
Yes, my eldest son Andrew, yes, and he put on the internet, my mum was here 2 days when I was born, but when Prince George was born, she was there 6 days.
So you were here for Prince George and camping out for 6 days. Well, not camping out, perhaps. Did you go home to your bed?
I always go home, yes. I never camp out.
A nice warm bed to sleep in at night. What about this time round? How many days have you been waiting here?
11 days this time. I'm sure Andrew's got something to say about that, but it's 11 days.
And there are so many royal fans, of course, here and around the world. But what makes you do something like this? What makes you come day after day to wait outside a hospital in all sorts of different weather for this news?
Well, it's a loyalty to the royal family, so that we know, we all want them to know that we're there for them, sort of thing. We're proud to be, you know, waiting for this baby because it means a lot to us. The whole royal family means a lot to me. It starts with Her Majesty the Queen, who's still working at 89, and Prince Philip, who backs her all the way, and it comes down the line, and I just think they're a fabulous family.
And what do you think this young royal couple and their now extended family are doing for the royals?
I think these William, Catherine and Harry are doing a lot for youngsters, more youngsters, because to a young person the Queen would seem quite old, but William and Harry and Catherine are young and they identify with that, so I think that's fair enough, and I'm sure Her Majesty the Queen is very pleased about that.
And on your rosette here we've got a picture of the royal couple with Prince George, that moment on the steps of the Lindo Wing just short of 2 years ago, and you're very quick off the mark with your Congratulations, it's a girl badge.
Yeah.
How did you whisk that one up so
That was
quickly?
a bit of luck, actually.
That was one you had
I'd
prepared
already bought, yeah,
earlier.
yeah,
Okay, did you have it's a boy as well?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I know. I thought I should, but I thought, no, I'm going to risk it.
And you were right. What would you like to see this baby being called? What do you think it'll be?
I'm sure Elizabeth will be in the names because Catherine's second name is Elizabeth. I think that possibly they might go for more modern names because the royal family go for very traditional names, don't they? You know, because they're in the history books. Children who aren't born yet will read about these children, and I hope to see them grow up. So, you know, there are several names, but I do think that you look at a baby and you choose the name when you see the baby because some names suit different children, I think.
So, just a final thought, Margaret. Something tells me that you are not moving from this street until they come out those doors with that baby.
No way, no way. It's so exciting. I'll be on such a high all day. I don't know whether I'm coming or going, but I want to see them and then know that they're safe and everything's well.
Margaret Tyler speaking to me just a little while ago. Well, I should tell you that with the bookmakers, Charlotte and Alice are two of the favourite names for this new baby. The bookmakers' favourite, of course, last time was George. That turned out to be correct. We may have to wait a little while to hear the baby's name. Of course, last time round we didn't hear the name until the royal couple had introduced the new baby to the Queen. And as for when the royal couple will leave, well, if you were listening to me chatting to our royal correspondent Peter Hunt a few minutes ago, he said, of course, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that we could see them leave with their new daughter and Prince George all together as a family, although Prince George may, in fact, be brought back to Kensington Palace, and then Prince William may return here before a departure later on. We simply do not know. We're being told we will be given a little bit of notice about when that is going to happen. For the moment, the waiting game continues. Back to you, Chris.
Anita, thank you very much for that. Thank you. Anita McVeigh outside a fairly chaotic hospital in Paddington, in sort of central West London. The former press secretary to the Queen, Charles Anson, has been with us all day since we heard of the news. Still with us in the studio. Hello to you, Charles. Look, why don't we add to this speculation, despite the fact none of us, I suspect, have the faintest idea, but I mean, does anybody have any clue as to the name of the... I mean, Peter was coming up with quite an interesting theory that Diana could be in there somewhere, but